Welcome back to the channel. Jumping into another Week 7 college football game on this weekend slate. We're taking a look at Alabama at Tennessee, another top 10 matchup in this weekend's loaded college football slate. Jumping right into the breakdown, we'll take a look at Tennessee's stats first. They have a pretty potent offense, averaging almost 47 points per game with 340 yards through the air and a little over 200 yards on the ground. And defensively, they're giving up just under 18 points per game. They are vulnerable in the air with 308 or so passing yards allowed per game and just under 90 rushing yards allowed per game. Alabama, on the other hand, offensively, they're right up there with Tennessee with about 44 points per game, 246 yards through the air, and just about 260 on the ground. And then defensively for Alabama, they're giving up about 12.5 points per game with 166 through the air and 85 on the ground. Just by looking at these numbers, it'll be an interesting game script for this game. It'll be at Tennessee, so I expect Tennessee to ride a little bit of momentum. But if you look at the numbers, everything kind of points towards Alabama is gonna win this game pretty handedly. Um, Alabama's strength is throwing the ball. I get they're a balanced team based on their numbers, but they've got one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Now, it's not certain whether he plays or not, which is a big factor in this game. I think if Bryce Young plays, Alabama wins, and they win pretty easy. But if he doesn't play, then I think Alabama's on upset alert. I think Tennessee's got a real shot to win this one. Because, I mean, 307 yards allowed per game in the air. Bryce Young's going to take advantage of the Tennessee secondary. They're going to be able to run the ball. I mean, it's Alabama. They're going to force the issue. So the 89 rushing yards allowed per game, I think won't stay, won't be an accurate representation of how this game's going to go. I think Alabama's probably going to have about 100 to 150 rushing yards, but again, I think Bryce Young could have anywhere to 300 to 400 yards passing in this game if he is fully healthy. But again, Tennessee's at home. They're number 6 in the country. That's the highest they've been ranked in who knows how long. So they're going to have all the momentum and motivation in the world to come out and stun Alabama and try to make a statement and jump into the top 5. If we take a look at their against the spread stats since 2021, I know Saban's been at Alabama for a while, but Heupel at Tennessee has been the coach since 2021. So it's only fair to compare these teams based off of that. Alabama is 12 and 9 overall against the spread. They're 2 and 4 as an away team and 2 and 4 as an away favorite. Alabama's favored in almost nearly every single game they play. Tennessee is 9 and 9 overall. They're 5 and 6 as the home team and they're 0 and 3 as the home underdog. I mean, again, this is a different Tennessee team than we saw last year. But I mean, the stats don't lie. I just think if Bryce Young's healthy, Alabama wins this one. Over under wise, Alabama's 2 and 4 this year in the overs, or 1 and 1 on the road. However, Tennessee is 3 and 2 this year in overs, being 3 and 0 at home. I do like the over in this game. I'm not sure what it's currently at. I want to say it's somewhere in the 60s, but I mean, as we saw with the numbers, Tennessee's going to give up yards and they're going to give up some points to this Alabama team. Alabama's going to score. That's not in question. But it's a matter of can Tennessee's offense score on Alabama's defense? That's going to be the matchup in this game that everyone's going to need to watch. Tennessee has a very potent offense, but Alabama's defense might just be a little bit better. But I like this game to be, if Bryce Young plays, I think Alabama scores upwards of 40 points, and it's maybe like a 42 to 31 game, 42 to 28 game, somewhere around there. And I mean, the over would hit in both those scenarios. But if Bryce Young doesn't play, we saw his backup isn't as much of a passer as he is. He's a little bit more athletic, I think, when it comes to running the ball, but he's not a pure pocket passer like Bryce Young is. So if he doesn't play, then you might not want to take the over in this game. Then taking a look at the all-time series, Alabama's 58, 38, and 7 in the all-time series. They've won the last 15 games played between these two teams, 13 of which have been by more than one score. So with Alabama being favored by, just a little over 7 points, I think the smart play would be Alabama if you think they're going to win, assuming Bryce Young plays. But again, I would make a decision on that until it is stated whether or not he's playing. Then for the line movement, the line opened up at 14 and a half. It's now at 7. I think Tennessee is getting a little bit more respect going into this game after being undefeated and playing at home, especially with Bryce Young being questionable. The point total opened up at 60. Now it's 65. There you go. Point totals at 65. So I do like that, especially if you can tease it down. And then 88% of public bets are on Tennessee to cover. I know 7.5 points may seem like a lot in the number 3 versus number 6 game, but trust me, if Bryce Young plays, I like Alabama to cover. I'm not going to make a for sure pick on this game because I don't know the outcome of Bryce Young at this moment. But I kind of have touched on it all video. I just kind of want to reiterate it. If Bryce Young plays, I like Alabama to cover. If he doesn't, I like Tennessee to cover and even potentially win outright. Then when it comes to the over, if Bryce Young plays, I like the over. If he doesn't play, I'm not going to touch the point total. It's just a little uncertain.